Hello and welcome to the Happy PharmD podcast. In this episode, I have a very special, multiple guests this time, because we'll be sharing with you what a pharmacy mastermind is like. Mastermind, what? What is that? What is that about? What's this? It's a group of like-minded people that get together on a regular basis to help one another, no matter what the circumstances. And sometimes they start off as strangers, and at the end, as you probably will see, maybe it turns into something a little bit more special. In this, you'll be joined by Phoebe, Heather, Amanda, myself, and Erik Wilson, who is one of our career advisors. We share our experience about what we learned through the journey of the mastermind, what it's like being in one, and what kind of amazing things and transformations that can happen in a mastermind. You're really going to like this because it's just so surreal. It's so serene. So let's go in and talk about their experience. When I say the word mastermind, and let's put you back in time before maybe when you were with your coach, and then you get an email from Alex and it says mastermind. What came to mind when you hear the word mastermind?
Like Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah. That's me and Erik.
Wait. That makes me Pinky.
I didn't want to say. I don't know. I can be kind of narf sometimes, but yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Heather.
No, I was just going to say, I have to be honest. I don't think I really knew what to expect. I was never involved in a mastermind before. And I really didn't know what to expect. But just thinking about the name, it seems like it was like definitely worth checking out. Because mastermind to me, I think would inspire like creativity and like thinking at a higher level are some of the things that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
And the mastermind group would be a group of individuals coming together to do that, to have that higher level thinking.
I think so the same with me, Heather. I 100% couldn't tell you what mastermind was at the beginning. If I had to guess at the time, it was a group type situation, but that was it. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, what we were going to do, what we were going to accomplish. But I remember being so excited getting an email from the Alex Parker. I was like, he knows me. He recognized me. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And the fact that I got an email from this man and I was like, I'm doing it. Like there was no questions asked.
Oh man, Alex is gonna have such a swelled head after this.
It's regularly popped. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I think because when I got the invite, I was just like, I have no idea what this is, but it's Alex doing it. It's probably cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
I only do cool stuff. It has a weird connotation to it, I think. I wish I could come up with a better name. And the other names that I have had for it in the past make you still go, huh? What is this? It doesn't make any sense. But the mastermind is ripped straight from, I think Benjamin Franklin is the one who kind of coined the term, or actually he called his group, I think, a junto. Now that I'm recalling my history, he had a junto when he was like a publisher for his newspaper company. He got business people together, and they didn't have quite the format that we did, but he just knew that if everyone was of like mind, that we would probably get different perspectives and learn more from each other than just staying in our own head. And it's really easy to get in your own head on career journey stuff, building businesses, whatever it is. So I have you guys here. I talk about it in the first meeting, let you guys introduce each other, make sure that no one in the group is crazy, save myself. And then I was it you, Amanda, that went first for the first time?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You were brave. And I remember sending you an email saying, okay, don't worry. Here's what you need to do. So that people have contacts and I think it may be interesting to do this from a podcast standpoint to like show some of the cool wins that you guys mentioned before when you guys were sharing them. Like that's all really cool stuff and it's all in your journey. And there's energy and momentum that happens with it. It's like, yes, you have a dream, you have an ambition, and you're making, even if it's just a small step, it's progress and it's celebrated. And no one in the room here is like, you suck. That's all you did. Like we're not hard on each other as probably as hard as we are on ourselves. And so I think I'll try to do that with editing. Editor, please help and make that placed here. Any other wins, Phoebe?
Right now they're testing the feeler email for a networking event for New Jersey for her AMWA, so that's something I'm coordinating. Oh, I mean, not professional related, but we had a street festival this weekend, and I found out that we have a local beekeeper, which for me is very exciting because that means we can get local honey. Doing more sketching, and
Can you show us any of your sketches?
so the first prompt was dream. And so there's like a superstition about dragon dreams in Asia that's supposed to bring good fortune. So I did like a dragon for that. The other one is like a half-finished sketch of an anime character from Demon Slayer, if any of you watch.
Hey. Yeah, Demon Slayer is awesome. Amanda, how about you? Have you had wins at your new role, your new job?
So this is week 3 of hospital pharmacy, and I will say I'm learning a lot. It's stimulating and it's challenging, and that makes it exciting for me. Since I can't be in a gym right now with the job, I'm like, well, you know, what am I doing in my free time? I'm on that dang bike. So let me go ahead and just make videos, making a YouTube channel. Uncomfortable as that makes me feel, I'm going to do it.
Your growth starts outside your comfort zone.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. And that's why I'm doing it.
Heather, last but not least, is the job offer real?
Yeah, I met with them yesterday. So they are so enthusiastic. So we kind of talked over some things. We actually talked about a few patients and gave some like examples where I might fit in. So they would like to have a final dinner meeting to like actually maybe discuss a contract.
And don't you have other things going on too? I have without the sheet in front of me, I have lost track.
Yeah, I signed another contract today. Then I just got invited tonight to join an advisory board for Pfizer.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
But in the beginning of a mastermind, we all share our wins, what we achieved right in the previous week. And then Amanda, we put you in I believe we tried calling it the love seat, but did that stick? Does everyone feel like that's stuck?
I
I mean, now I
renamed
feel
it.
loved.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's stuck.
So what was your first love seat experience? What was that like?
So, okay, I had approached the mastermind as a classic case of burned out retail pharmacist. And I came into the mastermind with 2 things on my mind. One, I want a job outside of retail. And 2, I want to gain traction to build something. We'll start with a side hustle. We'll make it small. And having those 2 things in my mind, I think helped set me up. But it was the series of questions that were asked that really, like, I was like an onion where you had to pull back all these layers to get to my core. And finally, in that very first session of the Love Seat, I revealed that I felt pressured to keep practicing as a pharmacist because I had put in all of this time, effort, and money to do that. And I was kind of ashamed to say that I have more fun doing personal training, being on the bike, putting together music playlists. Like I was almost ashamed to say that I love that more than I do pharmacy. And it was honestly, revealing that to you guys was the first and only time I've said it to anyone. I can't talk to loved ones about it. I can't talk to friends about it. I mean, you guys are my friends now, but at the beginning we were all strangers. So for me, that was it was easier to get that off my chest. But you guys were very supportive of it. You didn't put me down. You didn't, oh God, what are you thinking, Amanda? Like, why would you do that? It was more of, okay, let's get you there. What do we need to do to get you to where you want to be, pharmacy or not? And that was inspiring. It was something I needed. And so throughout our entire session together, I did find that a new position as a pharmacist to act as my primary income for now, but that can help support this business or side hustle that I want to build. So I'm basically, I put myself in a happier place. First of all, I had to get myself mentally in the right place to do that. Now that you guys have helped me to that point, I'm ready for the next step. My mind is clear, I am focused, and I'm ready. So that was all because of you guys. So thank you.
Oh, my heart hurts now. That was beautiful.
It means a lot.
Yeah, there's so much to say. To give people a little bit of context, the first part of the Love Seat is all about the group asking questions. You come with a problem, a challenge, a wonder, a question, a goal, and you talk through it. But not everyone understands or has your perspective. And that's what that peeling of the onion layer was like. We were asking questions without judging you or saying things like, well, I think you should do this, or it seems like you aren't doing this. But it was more probing as to what have you done? What led you to that decision? And then you didn't share this part, but we ask you to mute yourself, and you can keep your camera on, but you took that off. And then we just talked about you. We talked about you like you weren't here, and everyone shared their perspective of your problem. And Erik, for anyone who didn't see it on camera, like his reaction was perfect, because that's what the mastermind has done for me. I feel like I share this in different places, but maybe not with you guys, that it was the end of 2016 and I was with my mastermind group, and I told them, I'm ashamed that I'm still trying to figure out business stuff, and you guys have left your jobs and you're doing it full time, and I'm over here flailing. And I didn't want to admit it. And I didn't want to tell them like that I'm ashamed of who I am. But by leaning into that and getting their feedback, it was so powerful and encouraging to say, like, well, the reason you feel this is this. And if I were you, this is what I would do in that situation. So it just took me 7 years to see that and happen in someone else. That's wonderful. I mean, I've seen it in other people in coaching context, but not in a mastermind. It's beautiful.
It was very, very impactful, and it put me on the right track, basically. So,
Yeah.
because I was in a rut, I was lost. I didn't know what my next move was, and just being able to talk it out with you guys helped clear my mind. So.
Hmm. And that has led to some other great things, right? Since you started your new role, and you're really committed now to this brand new, business endeavor that you've been talking about, and you just did some scary stuff. You push yourself beyond. I don't want to take full credit for doing those things,
He
but
totally wants to.
you did, like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and then also, if we're bragging here, I spent that during our time together, I also was working on my LinkedIn profile and making that the best I could make it, and writing and really engaging. And honestly, I've grown quite a following. And I'm just gonna keep going with that. But yeah, if I compared myself now and looked at myself, 4 or 5 months ago, I had none of this, none of it.
Hmm.
Now I do. And I'm like, okay, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Let's see where it takes me.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the group. We're able to spot different things. And I think that happened very beautifully for you, Heather, when you talked about, some of the issues that you had been facing. Everyone provided a much different perspective. Sometimes I shared a little bit too much, which I'm glad that Erik got to take over management the one time I was sick. But in your journey, how do you think the different perspectives influenced maybe some decision making, or how you saw some of the things that you had in your career?
Well, I think for me, one of the biggest things that the group has helped with is at the point where we started the mastermind, I was definitely in my head way too much and way overthinking. And just the different perspectives, just even the members of our group will ask very different questions, either ruling out or ruling in really what the problem or what the challenge really is. Because I may be bringing in what I think the challenge is, but it's in my head and I've been thinking about it probably for many hours at this point.
Yeah.
So just the different perspectives really help narrow down what am I really thinking, and what is just noise? What is just the rest of the noise of this conversation that I'm having with my head, or in my head? And then the different perspectives after, when, as you said, the group is talking about you, which you're on mute with your video off. It was such an honest perspective. It wasn't judgmental at all, but it was very honest feedback and very honest advice that everybody was giving, based on what they heard me say and the questions that they asked. And that, I think, it was just the first love seat, if you will, or the first time I was questioned. I was really incredible. It was a really, really incredible experience. And I definitely like fully believed in the power of the mastermind group after that first time that I was in the love seat, because it really helped, again, I would say, like, clear out that noise. It was just wonderful. I also will say, I think our group did such a nice job too of asking different questions because of the different perspectives. So they really worked well together, to really get to the bottom of things by the time the meeting was done.
I think it was either the second or the third mastermind where I realized everyone's on a roll. Maybe it was Phoebe's hot seat, but I was thinking of questions, but you guys were just diving in, and you I didn't have to direct you guys. I didn't think any of the questions were uninformed. They were just really great questions. You got the model and you were able to practice it really easily. Phoebe, for you in your journey, what was your experience like, or perhaps what maybe unexpected thing happened for you?
I would say I think the first love seat was, I guess it was like the gentle kick in the butt that I kind of needed to kind of like really start pulling myself together, because what it came down to was that I, since I didn't have a lot of stakes in moving forward, it was turning into I had deprioritized myself and was just going around meeting everyone else's needs without needs, and then kind of like constantly shelving like what I wanted to do or what I thought I needed to do, because I didn't really have a deadline. And
Mm.
so being called out for that by people who I've never met in person, it was like, oh, okay. I should do something about that. So I got a lot of really helpful advice from Heather and Amanda and you, Alex. Thanks. To like kind of just set my daily goals and like kind of hold myself accountable, keep a schedule just to make being productive easier versus like constantly like trying to do one thing but getting distracted by like five other things that I want to do. It's just if I can achieve my daily goals, then that is one step forward towards being more productive than not doing anything. And also realistic goal setting, like being specific about what I want to achieve in a certain span of time.
Being called out kind of sucks. How did it feel from us?
It was more that it wasn't something new to me, but being told that from like pseudo strangers was different. It wasn't bad or like shocking or anything. It was just like a kind of like the click that goes like, oh, everything falls into place now.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, that explains why, I really struggle getting things done, because I'm doing these other things that are not going in that direction.
I've had this conversation with my wife quite a bit, and after I talk with my coach, I'll talk with her and I'll say, "Oh my gosh, this is what I need to be doing." And she said, "Yeah, I knew that. Why didn't you just ask me?" And I said, "Well, I I I don't know. Tell me. Why don't you tell?" But coaching, or in this case, this mastermind concept, it's like a mirror. And sometimes looking at what's, behind your back can surprise you. Whoa, there's a lot of hair back there. I'm talking about me, of course. But you look behind there every once in a while and you go, wow, I didn't see that. Wasn't aware. I kind of knew it was there, but now I see it for what it is. And that's going to cause me to shave my back. It's going to cause me to take different actions. It was so nice, I think, in that hot seat that you talked about, because everyone was pretty much of a like mind, that we all saw our pharmacist selves in you. We all saw how much you give to other people before you giving to yourself. And the cool thing is because of that reflection, you started changing. You took a lot more actions. Your wins after that were more stacked. There was more activity that you had accomplished. I saw that doubt. Man, I hope that
I
people,
was
when people
like,
see this, they're seeing you.
I was like, what did I accomplish after that? Oh yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, I guess that's one aspect that is hard to communicate sometimes in coaching, is to let you see, look how far you've come. And you live in your body, in your mind, and you can't often go back and think like, oh wow, I learned this lesson, and I learned this, and I learned this, and I learned this, and that saves me from doing this dumb thing or that wasteful thing. We don't tend to think that way because we've moved on, we've accepted it, we've processed it, make new decisions. But you have done a lot, Phoebe. So in the editing process, I'll just have the editor put like a really happy face on you in post. I'm getting creative here. Erik, you've been quiet this whole time, and I think it's probably because I'm the host here. But come on, my man.
No, I am just loving listening to all of this. I think it's just a beautiful recap of what everybody's been through. And, I think as, a partial leader and learner, in what we've been doing through this group and conducting this group, our job, Alex, watching them go through what they go through and talk about it and just kind of be there to moderate and make sure that everybody's on the right page is just such a fantastic place to be, just because we get to see, the progress and the stories unfold and be there to provide support and care and help and friendship to these wonderful pharmacists as they go through this. So yeah, it's not that I don't have anything to say. I just enjoying listening to what everybody has to say. It's a beautiful reminder of what we've all been through in the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, and for everyone else, this was Erik's first ever mastermind.
Same.
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, being in one, it's in this capacity. I've been in my own mastermind personally, but being in a pharmacist mastermind group, yes.
Your first ever drug dealer group. Yes, thank you. We have to be politically correct here.
Legal drug dealer group.
Legal. Oh, sorry. Fix that in post. We're not going to. What would you guys say is an unexpected benefit of being a part of a group like this? What didn't you see happen for you that you now are like, this is amazing?
I guess one thing is I didn't anticipate how supportive and how impactful a complete group of strangers could be in this setting. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, everybody has, something that they can give, and everybody has something that they can get out of the group at face value. But it really, I think, for me, has been so much more than that. And just the support. And even sometimes, like as we were saying with Phoebe, like even if it is like tough love, it's delivered in such a way that it's actually inspiring and results in change and successes. And I just never anticipated the impact that it would be, honestly.
Heather, that's well said. I mean, that's everything that was going through my mind. I was just trying to find the words for it. But yeah, I would agree 100%. The support. Yeah. Because you always think that loved ones or friends are going to give you that. Never would you expect a group of strangers to do that,
Well,
Yeah,
sometimes. Sometimes.
Well,
sometimes, yeah. You don't always want to trust a stranger's opinion or, but in this.
Oh, I meant family.
setting,
I meant family.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about my family. Yeah, you should have seen my mother's first reaction to when I said, "Oh, I'm going to do a business." She was like, "What?
Yeah.
You're going to do what?"
Yeah. And it like you instantly start questioning your, what your ability, and imposter syndrome starts to sprinkle in, and you're like, well, why even bother? But not once did I have that with you guys.
What I hear from this is that there's a great power in being in a group with like-minded individuals who share the experiences and the things that you've been through, right? Like, you're all pharmacists, and that's something that connects you all in a fiber kind of way that your family can't and your friends can't, because they don't know, they haven't been there, they haven't lived through the experiences. I can't tell you how many times I'm on the phone with pharmacists just like you guys who their spouses don't understand. You know, they have difficulty communicating what they're going through with their spouses because they're like, well, it's just a job, just deal with it. And they're like, well, you're not there. So I think when you're doing this with fellow pharmacists who get it and they understand you, there's an instant connection there that you just can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and I would even expand it. I totally agree and say it's so helpful, I think, because you don't have to provide that context. Like, we understand if Amanda is describing, her experience in community pharmacy, for example, we already know what that means. So we get the context for it. And then we're also unbiased, right? We have like nothing to gain necessarily. We just show up every single week for an hour or more and give truly heartfelt and unbiased information, but also understand the context. And that's, I think, really unique and why really it has worked so well. One of the many.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when you say it that way, isn't that just part of what we do as pharmacists? Is we listen to people and we offer unbiased solutions to their problems.
It's like it's the perfect business. No, we have tons of problems. Let's be honest. But no, you're right. There's not a lot of avenues though for pharmacists to have this kind of experience. You know, you go out into the world, and the only real way to stay connected is either having close relationships with your coworkers, which can be challenging. Let's just say challenging. Especially taking that relationship outside of the work context. Or you go into an association, which can benefit you, but it's usually centered around doing work together. You have a project, you have a committee, you're involved in something. And it's harder to build that kind of relationship when you're busy doing things. It takes quite a bit of commitment. And I have to commend each of you, because what I asked from you in that first session was to be committed to just helping each person here. I know you don't know them, you don't owe them anything, but you're not here to judge others. You're not here to make them feel stupid. You're just here to help. And that comes really easy to us as pharmacists. We just don't have that avenue to regularly make it happen. And then we prioritize life or family, Netflix, whatever it is, right? So thank you guys. Thank you for staying committed in our first ever official Happy PharmD Mastermind. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Alex, honestly, because I think all of us have gained so much more than we would probably ever be able to put in words. So yeah, thank you for inviting us, and for also for your time and investing in us in the group. It's been great.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You guys are great. I talked with you guys last week. Erik, you weren't there, but I shared with them that this group means it's more than just like a service, like it can be sometimes when you help people. It's a reflection, I think, of a major change within the company. You know, and I think I'll keep this in the podcast, but you know, Erik, you know, a lot of things have been changing. We have been doing a lot more to help clients. And this group feels, it feels like the show Community for me. So in my life, whenever there's a huge change, I will comfort myself by watching almost the entire series of the show Community, which I think is one of the most brilliantly acted and written TV shows that has ever been in existence. And I love it. And I watch it whenever there's a huge change. When I graduated college, when I got my residency, when I finished my residency, when I got my new job, when I quit my job, when I lost my father. And now for me, it has a very similar feeling. So maybe the next time something major happens, I'll have this mastermind again with you guys and we'll meet with each other just so that I can reflect and I guess really take in the joy or satisfaction of what I've been able to do. That sounds braggadocious, I'll admit it. But that's what this feels like to me. It feels really, really good because you guys have done so many cool things. And that's how I know I'm making the biggest difference in the world for other people. So thank you. Mushy gooey. Wasn't that nice? Each of those pharmacists are oh so cool, and they have done some amazing things. Now, we weren't able to have all of our mastermind members there. One was unfortunately missing due to prior engagements, but in this, I think you got a little snippet of what it's like when you're around people on the same journey as you, who care for you and want the best for you, and are willing to challenge you and to call you out on maybe a little bit of the BS that comes out sometimes. We all got it. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone does it. But hey, it's nice to have people who are willing to see through yours. And that's what this mastermind experience is like. If you would like to be a part of that, hey, click a link, talk with us. We would love to do a quick discovery call with you to see what goals or dreams, ambitions, and things that you want to do that we could help you be a part of. No, it's not some weird cult where we talk about how to take over the pharmacy world or world in general. It's a group of people who, just like you, are pharmacists and are willing to have open conversations about who you are, what you're doing, and what it's like, and how can we help you get through whatever the roadblocks you're facing towards achieving your career goals, your business goals, whatever goals you have. I mean, heck, sometimes we talk about in masterminds, how do we get ahead in finance, in health, in our relationships? Because life isn't just so simple that it fits in a box of career. Oh, no. Did you think that Happy PharmD was just about careers? No. It's a lot more. In life, you become the average of your 5 closest friends. Finances, careers, houses, families. Mastermind is an easy way to increase your average, to get some really amazing and unexpected results happening in your life. And I'd love you to be a part of one of our masterminds. Thanks for watching this episode. And until the next one, I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.